What is a fun fact that always blows people's minds? There are more trees on Earth than stars in the Milky Way. From when it was discovered to when it was declassified as a planet, Pluto did not make a full orbit around the Sun. People who are too fat for the conventional MRI at the hospital are taken to the zoo. In a 2008 survey, 58% of British teens thought Sherlock Holmes was a real guy, while 20% thought Winston Churchill was not. Mainland China has a population in excess of 1 billion people, while less than 1 million are foreigners. This gives China the lowest score in the world for migrant percentage of total population, less than North Korea. I found this out by accident just a couple of weeks ago and it blew my mind completely. How can China, such a global powerhouse of wealth, have such a small migrant population? A blue whale's fart bubble is large enough to hold a horse. The inside of the cheek and the inside of a vagina are made of the same tissue. Humans are the best endurance runners on the planet, able to outrun any species given enough distance/time. Fun fact, most of the top comments here will be on till over the next few days. 90% of the population on Earth lives in the northern hemisphere. There are more hydrogen atoms in a teaspoon of water than there are teaspoons of water in the sea. Shaq hit almost 12,000 baskets in his career. Exactly one of them was a three-pointer. In Japan, more paper is used to make manga than toilet paper. More French soldiers died during World War I than American soldiers during the entire U.S. military history, including both sides of the Civil War. The same can be said for Germany, Russia and Austria-Hungary. Ohio is the only state that doesn't share a letter with the word mackerel. J. Cole went double platinum with no features. The measurement of time, the second, is called that because it's the second division of the hour. Pablo Picasso died in 1973. And Salvador Dali died in 1989. People usually think they lived centuries ago. Also, the Chupa Chups logo was designed by Dali. To browse multiple subs in a single tab, just add plus signs, like this, r/movies plus a plus AskReddit. There are more permutations of a standard deck of 52 cards than there are _seconds_ since the Big Bang. A lot of cities used to close all the bars on election day. They wouldn't open until the polls closed. Edit, where I lived, this continued up to about 1970. Political corruption used to be more retail. You could buy people drinks, and thus buy their votes. The word bed actually looks like a bed. Human beings only use one nostril at a time. Each nostril takes a turn at being dormant, about 5 minutes, as the other nostril does all the work. The process is then reversed and the resting nostril takes over. Confirmed this with an ENT doc. Also, bananas are in the herb family. Those yellow stripes on the road are 10 feet long. All of the planets could fit in between the Earth and the Moon. If it were brighter, the Andromeda Galaxy would appear 6 times bigger than a full moon. The wingspan of a 747 is longer than the Wright brothers' first flight. The phrase hands down comes from horse racing and refers to a jockey who is so far ahead that he can afford drop his hands and loosen the reins, usually kept tight to encourage a horse to run, and still easily win. Source: Vikings used the bones of slain animals when smithing new weapons, believing this would enchant the weapon with the animal's spirit. This actually made the weapons stronger because the carbon in the bones coupled with the iron made a primitive version of steel. Yoda and Miss Piggy were both voiced by the same person. Water is transparent pretty much only to visible light, plus a small slice of the ultraviolet and infrared wavelengths on either side of the visible spectrum. This isn't a coincidence. Our eyes evolved before our ancestors left the water, so they evolved to see precisely those frequencies at which water can be seen through. Originally for The Simpsons, Homer was going to be Krusty the Clown. He was gonna be all down cause he couldn't get respect from his son Bart as his father, but Bart worshipped his alter ego Krusty. Natural gas has no smell. The smell that people associate with natural gas, mercaptan, is added to the gas lines to allow people to detect it before an accident occurs. From /u/KennyME, aka KenM, there are more cells in our brain than there are brains in our body. This one f***ed me up bad the first time I heard about it. Out of all the big cats in the world, the one you should fear the most is the jaguar. All of the big cats aim for your throat and choke you out or snap your neck for a quick death so they can get on with eating. But oh no, not jaguars. For some unknown reason they prefer to make a mess of their kills and aim for top of the skull, dragging out the pain and length of their prey's death, smashing in their skulls Oberyn style. Reno, Nevada is further west than Los Angeles, California. Cold coffee and warm soda are the same temperature. There is only one country between Norway and North Korea. There were still mammoths roaming the earth by the time the pyramids were being constructed. Chilean sea bass was originally called Patagonian toothfish, but a large fish wholesaler changed the name for it to sell better in America. It is not even a member of the bass family but is instead a subspecies of cod. There was a bear enlisted in the Polish army who made it to the rank of corporal. He also smoked, drank and carried weapons to the front during battles. His name was Wojtek. Tyrannosaurus rex lived closer to present day than to the time of the Stegosaurus. Kale, collard greens, Chinese broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, kohlrabi, Brussels sprouts and broccoli are all the same plant, Brassica oleracea. They are just different cultivars. It costs roughly $20,000 to send a kilogram of mass into orbit. So if the largest whale on Earth weighs approximately 163,293 kilograms, it costs over $2 billion to launch your mom into space. There was a pig that was hanged during the French Revolution because it bit someone. If you could drive your car to the sun at about 60 miles per hour without stopping, it would take you to 72 to 176 years to get there. At corrected time. Sugar does not make people, even kids, hyper. The last time the Chicago Cubs won the World Series, the Ottoman Empire was still around. Slang is short for short language. The average person has one testicle. 12 a.m. comes before 11 a.m. At least it blew my mind when I saw it on Shower Thoughts. If a baby is born underwater, it can live its entire life without breathing. Late to the party, and this might already be on here: if you die above a certain elevation on Mount Everest, your body is left there. It is considered too dangerous to retrieve. There are bodies along the trail that have been there so long they are now used as trail markers. Tommy Chong and the Wolf of Wall Street Jordan Belfort shared a cell while in prison. Chong is the one who encouraged him to write about his experiences, which then turned into the critically acclaimed movie of the same name. Also, Tommy Chong got on Dancing with the Stars because Cheech bet that they wouldn't let him on. They did. The world's largest living organism is one huge mushroom that lives underground somewhere in North America. Relatively speaking, the atmosphere is a very thin layer of air and is the only thing between us and extremely painful death. Wilford Brimley was Howard Hughes' bodyguard. If fruits are produced by plants for animals to eat and spread seeds around, how come lemons are so sour? Well, a lemon is not a naturally occurring fruit, it's actually bred from a sour orange and citron, the sour orange itself being bred from a pomelo and mandarin. So it's not the product of evolution but selective breeding. Life didn't give us lemons after all. Cleopatra lived, in a time not distant of course, closer to the moon landing than the building of the pyramids. On Reddit this is fairly known, but a lot of people don't know this and are always surprised to hear it. A lot of time perspectives work like that, like Hannah Frank and Martin Luther King being born in the same year. There's an arrow next to the gas gauge in your car that tells you which side your gas tank is on. Mozart, Beethoven, and Richard Strauss all composed works for the glass harmonica, a musical instrument invented by Benjamin Franklin. I learned this the other night and it really blew my mind for some reason. It really puts history in perspective. Due to its size and odd spin axis, it is theoretically possible to destroy Uranus with a human arm, but you would need lots of speed. The highest peak on Earth is made of old ocean floor. The ancient Romans loved graffiti, especially writing on bathroom walls. Some gems include: "A time tis got me pregnant, Phileros is a eunuch. Weep, you girls, my penis has given you up. Now it penetrates men's behinds. Goodbye, wondrous femininity. We have wet the bed, host. I confess we have done wrong." If you want to know why, there was no chamber pot. That the polar bear is the largest land predator alive. Daddy long legs, harvestmen, are neither poisonous nor spiders. It's called a fortnight because it's 14 nights. Not exactly fun, but the Canadian beach on D-Day in World War II, Juno Beach, was virtually just as deadly as infamous Omaha Beach. The universe is expanding faster than light, meaning that if we go as fast as physically possible, we will never be able to reach the theoretical edge of the universe. Only 93% of people have died. If Wayne Gretzky never scored a goal, he'd still be the all-time career points leader in the NHL. If you were born feet first, then, for a very short time, your mother was your hat. Soda is a soft drink because it doesn't have alcohol. The country with the most time zones across it is France. Apart from metropolitan France, which is on Central European time, there are French Guiana, French Polynesia, Guadeloupe, Martinique, Mayotte, New Caledonia, Réunion, Street, Barthélemy Street, Martin Street, Pierre and Miquelon and Wallis and Futuna. The French Southern and Antarctic lands clippered, and each entry on this list is in a separate time zone. You can't change the volume of the voice in your head. When you properly shuffle a deck of cards, it is nearly 100% likely that the particular order of cards that you are holding has never before existed. The likelihood of getting a particular order is 1 in 52. That is to say, 1 in 52 factorial. 52 is equal to 8.06581751709439e plus 67. Credit to r/you should know. A teaspoon of matter from a neutron star weighs roughly the same as an entire mountain. The curse of Bobby Lane. The Detroit Lions last won a championship in 1957. The following offseason they sold their star QB Bobby Lane to the Pittsburgh Steelers. He was so upset by this that he said the Lions won't win a championship for another 50 years. 50 years later the Lions went 0-16. In the subsequent draft they selected QB Matthew Stafford with the first overall pick in the draft. Matthew Stafford went to the same high school and grew up on the same street that Bobby Lane did. Till Australia exports camels to Saudi Arabia. Oxford University is older than the Mayan civilization. You can squeeze an orange peel onto a flame and make the flame flare. The airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow, a European one, is 24 miles per hour. The African swallow, unladen or not, is rare and therefore it isn't known what its airspeed velocity is. Every Fruit Loop is the same flavor, regardless of the color. King George V, Tsar Nicholas II and Kaiser Wilhelm II were all first cousins. Defibrillators can't start a stopped heart. In fact, they stop hearts. A heart in dysrhythmia can't pump blood, but once you stop it the body can restart it, hopefully in a healthy rhythm. Hence defibrillator. As a good example of the winner's writing history, and also some poor conversion from French to British measurements, Napoleon was of average height for French people at the time, 5'6" or 7", and the Duke of Wellington was actually 1 inch shorter at 5'5". There are no poisonous snakes, only venomous snakes. Venom is actively injected. Poison is eaten. Here's a question, are there any venomous plants? The average human being has just under 2 arms. X% of Y equals Y% of X. Earth is hit with 8 pounds of sunlight every year. Mars is populated entirely by alien invader robots. Not a fact but this always blows people's minds. Arby's equals R, B equals roast beef. When Sweden plays Denmark in Sweden the scoreboard reads SWE-DEN. The remaining letters read Den, Mark. This is true for a few other matches. At one point in your life, your parents put you down, and never picked you back up again. Easter Sunday has nothing to do with the date Jesus died and everything to do with the movement of the sun. There is no N in the word restaurateur. Human beings have stripes. You just can't see them. http://www.dailymail.co.uk/health/article 3289927/human stripes skin covered lines different colors usually visible UV light. HTML. Child molestation was not deemed illegal in the Vatican until 2013. There are more aircraft in the ocean than submarines in the sky. Logging, the responsible and sustainable kind, generally has a negative carbon footprint. In addition to that, old-growth forests generally have a neutral or positive carbon footprint. One of the Greenpeace co-founders even got sick of people hating on logging and wrote a letter about it. http://greenspiritstrategies.com/forestry-climate-change/. New York is further west than Santiago, Chile. Placing your keyless entry fob against your temple almost doubles the range.